Hi, welcome to my international sports and sports comedy show. I'm your host, Kym Harrison. Let's talk some rugby. The Rugby World Cup happening in Japan. Wow, the English, the Pommies, they beat the Aussies and then they face the New Zealand Kiwi All Blacks. And the All Blacks have their famous haka dance at the start of each game. It's good. It's very intimidating, but I love what the English did. They formed a V for victory. They formed this formation, but they also went across the halfway point of the field and they were fined £2,000. But hey, I don't blame them. I wouldn't sit back and take it from the New Zealanders with their intimidating, awesome dance. I'd be doing something too to get back at them. And it must have upset them, because the English went on to beat the New Zealand All Blacks, who were the favourite, to play South Africa in the final of the Rugby World Cup. Rugby union is popular around the world. It's often the second most popular football code in a country. In Australia, you've got the AFL, of course, the most popular Australian rules football. Then you have rugby league, rugby union, soccer. In South Africa and New Zealand, it is the number one football code in those countries. So let's now move on to the NBA. The NBA has started and the championship trophy is in Canada for the first time. The Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship and it was fantastic. I loved it. We had Kawhi Leonard, unfortunately only for 1 year. He was managed during the year and he played brilliantly throughout the finals. Loved it. The Raptors' well-deserved championship. But unfortunately, Kawhi did not re-sign with the Raptors. Some thought he was going to sign at the Lakers, but he signed at the LA Clippers. And along with Paul George, they have a good team. They have depth. Whereas the Lakers, they've got LeBron, who convinced Anthony Davis to come from the Pelicans. That's a funny name, the Pelicans, to an Aussie. So he came from the New Orleans Pelicans to join LeBron at the Lakers. I don't know. Will they stay fit? They don't have the depth. I'm liking the Clippers. And of course, the Toronto Raptors. Let's hope they can go back to back. I'll be following Ben Simmons with interest. The Australian born in Melbourne, Australia. He was the number one pick in the 2016 NBA draft for the Philadelphia 76ers. Good player. He needs to shoot more though. That's where they criticise him. But he got in a bit of trouble in Australia in the off-season. He was down there doing some NBA camps, kicking the Aussie football, watching his team, the Essendon Bombers. Him and his mates got in a bit of trouble at the Crown Casino there in Melbourne. Not too much. But, part of it was his fault. But, whoa, can the Aussie media be critical? And the fans, Aussies can pick on their stars a little bit too much. So I'll be following Ben Simmons with interest, and let's hope he lives up to his number one draft pick and has a good career. NFL. Love the NFL. Halfway through the year. And a big rivalry is in the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers looking good. Sitting on top right now of that division. They have the legend Aaron Rodgers, of course. And finally, they have a decent defense. Well, they're leading, and right behind them is the Minnesota Vikings, who are looking good as well. So I believe one of those teams will get a wild card spot. So let's now go to my buddy, Mick Aussie. He had media pass. He's on the sidelines. He's in amongst the fans. He's having a lot of fun at a Green Bay Packers versus Minnesota Vikings game in Minnesota many years ago. Brett Favre was quarterback for the Packers. Jeff George was quarterback for the Vikings. And whichever team won went to the playoffs. too. Scotty Riggs. Scotty Riggs, man. Imagine if you're here. What's your name?
Vicky.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
You are the #1 Viking girl. Woo! Hey, you're great, seriously.
Thanks. So how about, is this your first Minnesota Green Bay game?
It is, mate. I was at the Denver game last night with Seattle, right? And I was at the San Diego Chargers game because Darren Bennett's the Aussie, right? You know Darren
Aussie,
Bennett?
he is from Perth.
Yes,
He's from Perth, yeah. But I'll tell you, this is a fantastic rivalry. I'm glad you had a chance to witness it.
Hey, mate, these Viking supporters are the best supporters I've met.
Oh, it's one of the loudest stadiums. Brett Favre had to go to a silent count because it's so loud here. All right, I'm going Christmas
Hey,
shopping. Merry Christmas.
nice to meet you. See ya. There we go. Got the interview with the #1 lady of the NFL. These Viking supporters are crazy, mate. They're just like us Aussies. They are the wildest supporters I've met since I've travelled. What a great night. Thanks, bud.
Strip on the Bobby.
Minnesota Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers. I have to admit I was barracking for Green Bay, but I tell you what, mate, I'm not joking. I've travelled around America this weekend and I've been to like 6 or 7. I would say the Minnesota Vikings supporters tonight with a wild. I'm a Viking man. That's
Damn right.
pretty close to one.
Where's your ship? Set sail. Let's go. We got to row.
Oh my God, they're rowing. That keeps the bugs away.
The bugs away.
Yeah, no, like this. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, my buddy Mick Aussie had a lot of fun at that Vikings Packers game. Here he is. Check this out. Number 28. Minnesota Vikings. Adrian Peterson. What a champ he is, eh? 34 years old. Last Thursday night, playing for the Washington Redskins, he became the 6th leading rusher of all time. Legend Viking player. But unfortunately, several years ago, he was suspended for 1 year. I didn't agree with it. And to you critical people out there, yes, he did the wrong thing. He should not have hit his kid. So he got suspended for hitting his kid with a switch or something they called it. Back when I was young in Australia, the teacher would give you the cane. So you'd have a cane, about this long, thin piece of wood, and they would whack you if you did something wrong. And this young kid got it. He stole a bit of money and went and bought some cookies, and then they realised he stole it from the tin in the school, and the teacher just whipped him. Had cuts all over his legs. Yeah, you can't do that now. But Adrian Peterson suspended for 1 year by the NFL. I did not agree with it. Maybe 2 games, maybe 4 games. But if he was a white player, I don't think he would have been suspended for 1 year. Actually, I'm saying it. No, he wouldn't have. Not right. 1 year for doing that. I don't agree with it. I never have. But to you critical people out there, yes, he did the wrong thing. He maybe should have been suspended 2 to 4 weeks, not 1 year. He did the wrong thing. But 1 year, way too much. Now let's go on to the Cleveland Browns. I need to send these to OBJ. It's swimming trunks, Aussie bathers. I love ripping into OBJ, and I just can't wait till him explode and want out of the Cleveland Browns. See, the reason he should have these is because many years ago, him and his mates took off from the Giants when they should have been sitting at home studying or getting ready for the playoffs. They took off to Miami, went on this boat cruise, and they're all getting their fancy picture on this boat for the women. But the reason I say he should have these, he's wearing jeans. They're all wearing jeans on a boat. in the Miami heat. Hot, humid. Why would you wear jeans on a boat when it's hot and humid? I just don't get it. I never have. Oh, yeah, to look fancy for the girls, I suppose. So, OBJ, you need some Aussie bathers, swimming trunks. I'll send them to you. But, yeah, they're a mess. Baker Mayfield, the quarterback, he said this week, he says they're inconsistent, undisciplined, and lack of accountability. They're a mess. Some people were saying they could go to the Super Bowl. What a joke. I love it that the Cleveland Browns are still going terrible. But hey, I can't talk. What about my team, the Denver Broncos? We're terrible. We're terrible. I would never admit we were donkeys, but after disgraceful effort against the Raiders, I put this on, then I took it off, and I put it back on this week. Broncos are a mess. We traded Emmanuel Sanders to the 49ers. Love Emmanuel Sanders, great player. Chris Harris Jr., I thought they may have traded him, but they didn't. But Joe friggin' Flacco, eh? Whoever thought that was a good idea other than John Elway? John Elway's a legend, but he's in a bit of strife down there as GM. The fans are going crazy. Well, Joe friggin' Flacco, he criticises the coaches after their game when they should have beaten the Colts. And you know, actually, it's probably the best thing Joe Flacco's ever done in what I think. He criticised the coaches, which was deserved. But now, all of a sudden, he's out for weeks with a bad neck. I don't know. Is he faking it? Did John Elway tell him to sit? Is it legit? Don't know. Maybe we'll never know. Broncos are a mess. Let's now go and talk some CFL. Now, all players that end up in the NFL, they either come through the NCAA, college football, or the CFL, occasionally from Europe, maybe Mexico, there's been one or two. There's been a few Aussies, but most players come through the NCAA college football. And this guy, a favourite CFLer of mine, he played at the Kentucky Wildcats. He is now a defensive line coach at the Appalachian State Mountaineers, who are now number 20 on the AP poll, the highest ever from a Sun Belt division team. His name is Anwar Stewart. Played in many Grey Cups. That's the CFL equivalent to the Super Bowl for the Montreal Alouettes. Let's now go to Mick Aussie, my buddy, with Anwar Stewart of the Montreal Alouettes.
I'm wearing a suit because Shania Twain's in the house and I gotta look good for the lady. She's a beautiful woman and I want to look my best for her.
All right.
Melon and all.
Let's go, man. You went to Adelaide?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did a whole wine tour of Adelaide.
Right, south or north?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah?
Went to Wolf Blast, number of other places in the area. Absolutely amazing. Kangaroo Island. That far was freaking amazing. I could spend weeks there.
We're on.
I'm Brad from Mick TV and I love the Eskimos!
So, what's your nickname?
I'm Scully.
Scully.
Look at this thing.
Scully from Edmonton.
I'm Scully from Mick TV and thank you. Have a good night.
Running here to punt the Aussie rules. Screw punt. He's going to punt it down the field and hopefully they get him back. And he's gone for the sidelines. It's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble. There's a fight on the sidelines amongst the players. Yeah, good stuffy on the CFL. The Magpies are in there, the black and white Magpies are in there.
BigAussie.com, I am the touchdown chicken, Grey Cup 2002. Mucka, touchdown! Woo!
Wow, another great character. Look at him go. The touchdown chicken.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah, go every time! Woo!
Grey Cup. They missed out in 2000 against the Lions, and they've won it here in 2002. Great stuff.
Guys, we're still on air here. There you go. Here we go. 10 seconds. Guys, we're doing a network.
Luke, how you going, man? Good to run into you again.
How you doing, Nick?
How was your day? Any trouble?
No troubles at all, Nick.
No trouble?
Nope.
No trouble?
Everybody's pretty well behaved around here.
Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, Nick. Anwar! Back to back, man. Yeah!
Anwar Stewart, huge fan of Midway TV. Lawrence Phillips, star running back this year. Great year.
That's still, baby. That's still. You know what I mean?
Hey, here's your old Stampede, mate.
Hello. Hey, it's all good, though. We boys for life. It's all good. We boys for life, baby. I thank you for two, though. I thank you for two. I thank you for two. This is my boy Mark Magna, number 54.
54.
From Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
He did his stills, his dog stills in the night. Part of Massachusetts. For sure. Hey, yeah, mate. Yeah, mate.
Well, this is my mate Anwar Stewart, former Stampeder. How does it feel to go to Montreal to start a year and now play the Grey Cup? How does it feel, mate?
It feels great, mate. Hey, check this out. Hey, it's a great feeling, you know. Hey, I thank Calgary for letting me go. 2 in a row. Hey, God bless me, man.
And mate, you were there last year. How does it feel like? Just amazing the differences between Calgary and Montreal. You had fun over there, you played some great football this year. How does it feel to be in the starting lineup?
Hey, man, it feels great, man. You know, I'm just here to help the team out, man. They picked me up and they let me go. Hey, I'm just here to play ball, man, and look what happened. Hey, good things happen to good people, man.
You're a great guy.
But right behind me, in approximately 2 minutes, will be the Grey Cup 2002 champions, the Montreal Alouettes. They're coming here to take on the Stampeders, the 2001 Grey Cup champions. Crandall's looking good. Lawrence Phillips has defected. He got kicked out of the Owls and he's here to cause some major havoc. But the Owls are the Grey Cup champion. But it's going to be a great game, and let's hope they're wearing their Grey Cup rings.
Anthony, where's your ring? All right, good luck, man. Good luck. You knew I'd be here. There you go, man. Hey, you knew I'd be here. Hey, where's your ring? I come to see your ring. Give me a look.
It's in my bag, man.
Come on, what are you doing? So anyway, Anwar Stewart, are you looking to go for your 3rd Grey Cup ring in a row?
Yeah, man, we about to repeat this thing, man.
And how you looking, boys?
Everything looking good, man. You'll check us out Tuesday, man.
You had a good pre-season?
Yep.
Yeah?
Pre-season went well.
You gonna do one of those big run backs like you did here last year?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Check you out.
Here it is. The Grey Cup 2002 ring. There you go. There's some unbelievable Mick Webb TV for Gabriel Morency's the team radio in Montreal. Anwar Stewart, he won one with the Stampeders, and then the next year he's got one with the Alouettes. You gonna star, mate?
Yeah, I'm starting, man. We're getting the job done.
How's Calville looking?
Calville looking excellent, man. That's our man. That's our commander-in-chief, man.
Now, what's going on? You've got rid of Pringle and Phillips. That's just so they can bash each other up this year over here, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you know. We got Jay Graham and LaPointe's going to run the rock. So, you know, hey, we still in good hands, man.
So you got good running backs?
Oh, yeah, we have excellent running backs.
Good luck.
Going. Thanks a lot.
I reckon you're going to get there again.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
All right.
So there we are, some highlights of my buddy Mick Aussie with Anwar Stewart. Anwar played 13 seasons in the CFL. He was a 3 to 4 time Grey Cup champion, 2001, 2002, 2009 and 2010. Now in 2001, I believe he was on the practice roster, as you saw in that video where he's there with his mates, for the Calgary Stampeders. But really interesting story. Next year, in 2002, I was in Calgary and he started in the pre-season. He did this great big run back and he's in the papers and getting interviewed. Well, the final cut, he was cut by the Stampeders. He wasn't happy, but within days, maybe a day, he was picked up by the Montreal Alouettes. Don Matthews, the legendary coach, picked him up. He goes across to Montreal. He loses weight. He becomes fit. He becomes leaner. And he was a fantastic defensive end, pass rusher position in the CFL. All-time sack leader for the Montreal Alouettes. Again, like I said, he was fantastic in the Grey Cups. He was part of that great defense for the Montreal Alouettes for many years. John Bowman was there as well. Chip Cox in later years. Davis Sanchez as well was playing there, the former NFLer. So they were a legendary team. And even though he played in 3 or 4, he also played in a few losing ones. And of course, the 2005 one in Vancouver was an overtime Grey Cup when the Edmonton Eskimos beat the Montreal Alouettes, led by, here he is, got this year at the CFL game, led by Ricky Ray. So that was a great Grey Cup. And then they also lost in 2006 to the BC Lions, to 2008 to the Stamps. But then he finished his career at the Alouettes and he was signed back at the Stampeders for a final year, and that was the 100th Grey Cup that he played for the Stampeders in Toronto. And that was a magnificent week to celebrate the 100th CFL Grey Cup. So Anwar, the teams he played on are on this football Grey Cup champions. Love the CFL. The finals, the playoffs are about to start. The Grey Cup will be in Calgary. Who will it be between the East, the Tiger Cats, the favourites? They will play either the Edmonton Eskimos or the Montreal Alouettes. The Alouettes have been down for quite a few years, but they're back. Edmonton got the crossover to go to the East from the West because their record was better than the third East team in the CFL. So it'll be the Edmonton Eskimos versus the Montreal Alouettes. The winner will play the Hamilton Tiger Cats to represent the East in the CFL. Now in the West, we have a race between the Riders, the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, who play there in Regina. It's Regina. I love that name when I first came here. Regina, Saskatchewan, the home of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. So them, or the Calgary Stampeders, or the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be the team from the West. You know what? I would love to see an All-West final. An All-West Grey Cup would be fantastic. But I don't think it's going to happen, especially with Trevor Harris not playing much and the Eskimos not going in with momentum. I don't think they'll do it. So it's probably going to be the Hamilton Tiger Cats versus the Calgary Stampeders or the Saskatchewan Rough Riders or the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's now go to, again, my buddy Mick Aussie. 20 years ago was the last time the Hamilton Tiger Cats won the Grey Cup. Mick Aussie having fun at the awards night.
This was a lot of fun. I was allowed to do this. I'm walking down the red carpet, chatting to all the CFL crocodile cheerleaders. That's Quocks, Cool Women of Canada. Here's a coincidence. Out of the blue, I just picked on this one lady, the beautiful Melanie from the BC Lions. Her mum was from Australia. The gorgeous Tammy from Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and then photogenic Erin from the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Now, check this out.
Seriously, at this time, Bill Clinton was still the president of the USA. The Saskatchewan Rough Rider cheerleader is so funny when she doesn't realise that Bill Clinton's still the president. We're promoting Australian rules football.
Oh, my mom's from Australia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you seen Aussie rules?
Yes.
It's a good game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? What's your name?
Melanie.
Melanie?
Yes.
Thanks, Melanie.
No problem.
Oh, man. Can you believe I'm doing this? This is crazy. I'll be out of here while I'm still alive. Who can I talk to? I'm in trouble. Who can I talk to? Who wants to do an interview? Do you want to do an interview? No?
Not supposed to.
Is that
Hi,
right?
we're from Winnipeg.
Is that right? You're from Winnipeg? Winnipeg. What's your name?
Tammy.
Tammy. See ya.
Yeah.
Where?
Regina!
Oh.
Regina!
I always get mixed up with that word. Sorry. So you're from where?
Regina. R-E-G-I-N-A.
And it's the capital of?
Saskatchewan.
Which is in the middle of Canada.
Yep, the bread
And
box.
where else is there? Saskatoon's there?
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
You know, when I first came here, I always got mixed up with that word.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I understand.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, she feels the need to be on
You
camera.
looking at my bum or something?
Can I do a street interview?
You're doing one right now, baby. What's your name?
Erin.
Erin.
Yeah.
E-R-I-N.
Right.
Okay, you know what my name is?
What? Kym.
Yeah, but it's really Mick.
Mick?
Yeah. Guy in the bar, Tom Cruise. No, his brother. Looked like him. He said, your name's Mick. I said, what do you mean? He said, look, your name spelt backwards is Mick, M-Y-K. And that's true,
That's
isn't it?
good.
That's Mick, M-Y-K is Mick.
Mick.
So I'm Mick.
All right, Mick.
I'll take Mick.
So you're going to go everywhere here today and interview people?
Hey?
You're just going to go everywhere?
Oh, mate, I went to Halloween at BC Lions game. I had the best outfit. Everyone loved my outfit, and I videoed it all.
What were we wearing?
Oh, I don't know if I can tell you. How old are you? How old are you?
What?
How old are you?
I'm 18.
18. Oh, I don't know if I can tell you. Wow. I'm a very influential man in the world. I'm probably the most powerful man in the world. That's who I was Halloween night.
The most powerful man in the world?
Who's the most powerful man in the world? Come on. He's protecting you. And why do you think our Canadian dollar's so low? He can rule us,
Bill
mate.
Gates.
No, he's the richest.
I put it yesterday. I still guess Bill Gates. He
Bill
controls
Gates.
everybody's life.
Yeah, but who's more powerful?
Bill Clinton.
If someone, there we go.
You went as Bill Clinton?
I went as Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton, but I'm thinking... Bill Clinton's not powerful at all. He's not even the president anymore.
What? I can't believe you said that. Yes, he is.
It's not for me.
Who's president?
Yeah, you just said president.
Nah, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is still president.
Yeah. I thought he was supposed to be impeached. No.
No.
That didn't
Well, you've been sleeping. You've been hibernating in the winter or something.
Like, I don't feel that.
No, they're real, just like you, blonde and beautiful. Really easy question, but sometimes it's not.
What question?
How old are you?
How old am I? I don't tell my age.
Hey?
I don't tell my age.
Oh, I get in so much trouble when I ask that.
It's a bad question.
Why? Why?
Women do.
Are you?
You're from Australia?
Yeah.
My best friend just moved down there
Where to?
to Sydney.
Sydney?
Yeah, she met a guy out there. She went out there for vacation.
Ah, you know you can get a work visa if you're under 26.
Yeah.
Can you get one?
She got one, yeah.
Can you get one?
Can I get one? Yes, I can.
Not married? You got a boyfriend? Is he treating you well?
He's treating me very well.
I bet he is too. Hey, I don't
good
blame
boy.
him. Hey, nice to meet you, serious.
Oh, excellent.
Really started class. This is fun. I'm really happy that they got Grey.
it? You guys want to talk some more?
Keep getting these things in the drink.
So hope you enjoyed the footage of my buddy Mick Aussie there at Grey Cup in Vancouver. A lot of fun. The 107th Grey Cup will be in Calgary in late November. So I'll be heading down to that one. 4 days, daytime, nighttime parties, and of course the big game on the Sunday. Also, hope you can check out my buddy Mick Aussie. He's on the Fantasy Sports Network, now called Sports Grid, the morning after show, based out of New York, with hosts Gabriel Morency and Joe Ranieri. Mick Aussie's on at 9:25 Eastern, Friday mornings, talking all sorts of sports and life craziness with Gabe and Joe. And this time of year, Mick gives his NFL picks and best bets. So hope you can join Mick and Gabe and Joe, Fantasy Sports Network, 9:25 Eastern, Friday mornings. Well, this is the magnificent scarf from the 106th Grey Cup here in Edmonton last November. CFL ball, we got footballs everywhere, NFL footballs, CFL footballs, Aussie rules footballs. Love the football. Hope you enjoyed my show.